Hello and welcome back to another episode of Stu's Reviews. So today, we're going to take a look at something that I'm quite interested in. We're going to take a look at the Vobot clock. This is no ordinary alarm clock. With built-in Wi-Fi and touch-initiated voice control, this clock is certainly a smart device. It connects to the Amazon Alexa voice assistant service, giving it artificial intelligence and feeding back through a 5-watt speaker and a dot matrix display. First things first, let's talk about the style. Now, it is a relatively small device and it runs off both battery and power, but it only runs off battery for about 8 hours, I think. Because that's all I think it ran for when I disconnected it from the battery last time. But ideally, you'd be plugging this in and using it through the wall at all times. Now, the style is quite beautiful. It's got this copper ring around it, and it comes in 2 different colours. I think it comes in a white colour as well. Ooh, let's stop that there. No. Now, as you can see, it has this face on it here that's actually doing something. Now, this is an LED dot matrix, and it displays information depending on what I'm asking it to do. Now, as I said a minute ago, it has Alexa built into this, which means that you interface with the clock by simply speaking to it. So to give you an idea of what that looks like, if I press this button here, on the top, you'll see a microphone come up.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
But it's a cute interface and it's a cute design, and I actually really like it. On the back, there's a few buttons here that do different things. We've got a Wi-Fi button, we've got another microphone button, we have a volume up and a volume down. So I'm going to turn the volume up a bit so people can hear it. What's my name?
This device has only one account, Stuart's.
There we are. So I actually really like it. And on the back as well, it also has a 3.5mm audio output, which means that if you have speakers or something like that, you can plug it directly into them. That I think is a good touch. Other than that, there's not much more to say about the design. So it looks great, but how well does it function? Now, the weird thing about this is the button to activate the microphone is on the top, and it sits flush with the plastic, so you actually can't see a button. It's touch sensitive, which I find a little bit difficult to activate in the dark, I'm going to be honest, but once you've got a knack to it, if you use kind of your whole hand, it does activate relatively easier than trying to hit it with just one finger, especially when you're trying to turn an alarm on in the dark or something. It is responsive because it runs Alexa's service, Amazon Alexa's service, which means that it has all of the features and functions that you would expect from Amazon Alexa, such as turning your lights on and off, telling you the news, telling you the weather. For example, if I just touch this here, what's the weather?
Currently, in Aberkenny it's 12 degrees with cloudy skies. Today, you can expect showers, with a high of 12 degrees and a low of 11 degrees.
To be honest, I didn't expect anything different because we live in very sunny Wales, so rain is expected. But as you can see, it runs and even sounds very much like Alexa. Now the difference is you can't activate this by using your voice. You have to use the button on top, which I kind of like because, I mean, your bedroom is supposed to be a private area where you make private noises. And I don't want somebody listening to that. But moving back to the point, it does, like I said, everything Alexa is supposed to do. So I think that point, it makes this a good clock because Alexa doesn't have a face, nor does any of the other Alexa range except the one with the kind of video thing. What's that called? Let me find out what that's called. Alexa something or other. Amazon Alexa face thing. What's it called? The Echo Amazon Show. That's what it's called. But moving back to this, and this, the Echo Spot, which wasn't out in the UK when I filmed this, but has now been announced and is being released in the UK shortly. But this costs £120, which is a lot more than the Vobot, which I'll talk to you about in just a second. Compared to the Amazon devices, I mean, that's £199. That's to have an Alexa Echo device with a built-in display. Well, this is a small clock with a small feedback and a small amount of display. Of course, it hasn't got things like a camera or a colour display, but that's enough for a clock. And it costs a quarter of the price. This comes out at £45. Around amounts. It's actually listed as £80, discounted down to 45, so I'm not sure if it will stay at 45, but if you want to check it out for yourself, I will leave a link below in the description, and you can see all of the details over on Amazon. Now, there are a couple of things that I think could be improved, and there were two main things that I didn't like about using this. One, you can't turn the display off permanently. Now, I'm one of those people that likes to sleep in the pitch black. Stop right there. This was an issue for me at the time of filming this review, but in between then and now, they've actually updated it to turn off at night. Not the whole clock, but just the display, which means there's no lights at all. So, let's move on to the second point. The second thing is that you can't set alarms through the app. You can only set alarms by talking to this device. And the alarms do work, and I'll show you that in a few seconds as well. But it's quite annoying. Let's say your partner has gone to bed before you, and you get in bed at 3 in the morning after a vigorous gaming session on Destiny and want to set your alarm. The only thing you can do is set an alarm for 6:30 in the morning.
Alarm set for 6:30 a.m. tomorrow.
Which, if you ask me, is quite a loud interruption at 2 or 3 in the morning, especially for your partner. Moving back to these points, I emailed Vobot directly, and I got a response on the feedback, and that response was, where's my phone? Hold on. Here we go, I have their response right here. It says, yes, we are sorry to disturb you for the display feature. Now, this is in regards to the fact the display is always on. Your suggestion is very useful, and we will take into account and release a display off feature in the next firmware version. Which, as I've said already, they have in fact released that software feature. This is happening a lot this episode. So that's very kind of them to address that issue. As for the alarms, they've said it would be great. I said it would be great to set alarms through the app, and they've said, yes, you are right. We have put it into beta testing, and this feature will also be released soon. So both of the things which I found to be potentially my biggest worries or biggest doubts about this are being fixed, which is really, really good. And it was great to see a good response from Vobot as well directly, just saying their thoughts on my feedback. Let's move on to the actual alarm functionality before I go on to my conclusion. Now, to set an alarm, as you saw a second ago, you hold down the top and ask it to set an alarm, which can prove a bit of a problem if your partner's asleep. You can turn down the volume, so I can turn it down to very minimal, but for the purpose of this, I'm going to have it a little bit louder so you can hear it. Now, it's very interesting the way you turn alarms off. You do this. Let me set an alarm first. What time is it? It's currently 21 minutes past 3, so set an alarm for 22 minutes past 3 this afternoon.
Second alarm set for 3:22 p.m.
Let's give it a second. There we go. So it's going off now. Now, to turn the actual alarm off, I can hold my hand over the front. Or to put it into snooze, all I do is turn it over. that. And it should put it into a snooze mode, which it appears it has done. I'm lying. Let's try this.
Snoozing.
That's how you do it. Apologies. But you get the gist. It's put it into snooze mode. And it will put it into snooze mode for 8 minutes, 9 minutes in total. So it's a 9-minute snooze. And I think you can change this in the app, but don't quote me. I haven't changed it because 9 minutes is quite a good snooze time. Let me just reset this and I'll show you how you turn it off. So to turn it off, all you do is you pick it up, and you place your hand over the front. Like that. And if you do it for long enough, it turns off. That's how you turn the alarm off, which is a bit annoying. You can ask it to turn it off by using the voice control on the top, but if you didn't want to speak to it, that's how you do it. Now I think that's pretty good, because it kind of makes you awake, it makes you aware, and it gets you doing things so that your brain starts working, and you're less likely to snooze. But if you didn't want that, you can actually set it so that you can shake to dismiss, which means you pick it up and you just shake it like that, and it will turn off that way, which I think is pretty cool too. One more thing on the alarm. You're not forced to use that horrible sound which you heard a minute ago. You can actually put your own songs or tunes on there yourself. And it also, because it works with Amazon Alexa, uses tuning. So you can select a particular radio station you'd like to listen to and you can have it fade in, which is a really good feature, and it becomes like a radio clock. What do I think of Vobot overall? Well, besides those little things that annoy me, I think it is a fantastic clock. And those little things are just software based. And as I said, Vobot have got in touch and they've said those things are going to be changed from my feedback. So they are a company that listens to its users. So overall, this gets a really big score from me. And I think this is going to be a really good thing to have in your house. And I thoroughly enjoyed using the Vobot. Guys, if you like the video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, because it'll really help me out and it'll help you see more Stu's reviews. And I'll see you back for another episode soon. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.